So this is our site. It's called Charrette. It's the site with the bunkers. As you can see, there are photos rotating of our site. This is the bunker area. You can see it's very hilly. There's green area already there, but it's not used very much. There's also unused infrastructure that you can see. Okay, so the problem. What is the problem of the site? It is at the base of the hill, which means that there's very high flood potential. In 2011, there was floods. I'm sure you've all heard many, many times. This is our site right here. You can see. Okay, green areas are green space in area. The blue area is unused green space, and the yellow area shows unused infrastructure. So unused green space can be extended. We had an image of some interviews here, but unfortunately we didn't have time to include it in. But we did talk to people in the community. We've got many chances to go there. And this is what we saw. Disabled people, elderly people, and families with young children, and they're separated by this infrastructure and this unused green space. On one side, you have the families with young children, and on the other side, you have elderly people and disabled people primarily. So we started off with our mood boards, and this is an example of images that we collected to kind of explain to each other the feeling that we wanted to get through in our space. So as you can see, there's building blocks, there's water. Water is a big, big theme in our project. This is some initial ideas that we came up with. We wanted to include some green space where people can plant. This is also a plan of the bunker area that we wanted to include. It's very important that we kept the green space because children use it in the wintertime for sledding. But there was a missing piece. We couldn't find a way to connect all of these ideas together into one. So we went deeper into our concept development, and this is what we came up with. That water is a dynamic and essential for life. Water is an analogy for connection. People connect to one another just like water molecules connect to one another. And today the water conservation and flooding in Charrette is a very negative thing. We wanted to change it into a positive thing. We wanted to use the analogy of the cube as a water droplet. Don't get too hung up on that, but we thought it was very interesting to take something as organic as water and to represent it as something as organic as a cube. We thought that was very dynamic because water is very dynamic, and groundbreaking because it's a very interesting way to represent water as a very geometric shape. So this is our concept right here. As you can see, this is the unused infrastructure in the front. We wanted to create a grid of cubes that would, some of them would be stationary, and some of them would be stationary standing, and the lighter ones would be move up and down. As connected with our concept again, that the water congregates into one whole, water molecules tend to stick to each other, and we wanted to show that as well from an aerial view. You can see here how the central space is where all the cubes or water droplets congregate and how they spread into the surrounding areas. This is an image you can see here of the 3D concept. So there's many spaces for people to walk around. There's a lot of open space as well because cubes can be lowered using water displacement. At nighttime, you can see here the cubes with electricity. They light up, and maybe touching certain sides of the cube can change the light to different colors. Would be an interactive kind of aspect for children. The sidewalks here you can see would be made out of a substance called piezoelectric sidewalk, which absorb energy through pressure. So as people walk on it, it absorbs energy, which could be used for pumping water. This is our logo called Kubahaven, and this was our inspiration. It's very, very obvious. When I looked at it, it's how all the water droplets come together and congregate into one. So again, with the cubes. And this is our marketing strategy. We were planned to place one large cube in the middle of the center with a QR tag that would create some curiosity within the community. Maybe people would come together and discuss what it might mean. Elderly people might come to younger groups and ask and discuss, and it would take them to a website where they can see progress. Maybe the website later on, when the project is finished, they could. This is the flying house. So that was a big part. The flying house was a big inspiration for us as far as implementation went, because it seems like something very impossible, but we wanted to create something that was functional and also very realistic to build. And this is our group again.